oh, that's good blocking. Oh, that's bad blocking. That's like the extent of my X's and O's analysis. It's not like, well, the guard there was running on a trap block there, and he didn't get his arms. No, I don't get into that. That's not my stuff. But it's hard, and it does take something away when you already know what the hell's going on.
Well, how the whole getting rid of cable thing? How is that working? Because I've considered. My brother's tried it, but he doesn't have Netflix. There's people that, the public library is actually a hidden gem when it comes to renting movies.
Right.
And TV shows, because they have it all there. It's free. And I don't know how he does it without Netflix. But do you guys have Netflix or anything? Because that can kind of be a savior.
We have Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime Video. We've got everything but cable, pretty much.
Okay.
Trying to avoid. I don't know who the cable company is where you are, but Time Warner here. It's just the rates are just through the roof. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's getting pretty bad. I mean, have you of those three? I think Hulu Plus is definitely the bottom feeder of those three.
Oh yeah, it's bad. I mean, especially like one of our shows that we got into was Hawaii Five-0, right? Explosions, gunfights, women in bikinis, and generally she's looking at the guys, but I don't give a shit. But so it's a good show, and CBS isn't on Hulu. Well, why does CBS have to be the one? You know what I mean? NBC's on there, ABC's on there, Fox is on there. With CBS, nope. Well, you just go to CBS.com. No, damn it, get on board. But anyway, but because of little stuff like that, it's like well, maybe it's on Hulu. Damn, it's not on Hulu. AMC shows, like Bar Rescue, I'm addicted to. Mad Men, when that comes on. Something's got to, this whole going without cable thing, something's got to give here. So either we get the really cheap DirecTV for a year and get the Sunday ticket, for the rest of the season, or we're going to have to do some kind of basic cable deal where I'll at least get ESPN and AMC, because I've gone 5 or 6.5 seasons with Mad Men, however many seasons it is, and I can't imagine I'm going to have to wait till Netflix gets it to finish this damn series off.
Yeah, it's tough. But I'm so into the binge watching that, I got into Hell on Wheels on AMC. And I watched the first 3 seasons in 2 or 3 weeks.
Isn't it fun?
And then it was, say again?
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, but the first 3 seasons, yeah, watched that in 2 or 3 weeks. And now I have to wait 1 week at a time for each episode. Season 4 just started, and there's been, in the first 3 seasons, there's a couple episodes here and there where it kind of drags. But when it drags on TV, I mean, you have to wait through commercials if you don't have it on DVR. There's just things about TV that really piss me off, especially because it's like once you go to Netflix, it's like, okay, why would I even bother watching it on time anymore?
Right. All the with no commercials or whatever. But it's scary because, I mean, I have 3 kids, so I'm usually there's something I got to do somewhere sometime during the day. But when I was single, I got the first season of 24, like the DVD set. Back in the day, I lost an entire afternoon. I was in my heavy drinking days. So I rolled out of bed at 10:30, 11 o'clock, scrambled to the coffee pot to put on a pot of coffee and a bagel because I wasn't sure my stomach could take anymore. And I just said, well, you know what? I haven't watched this yet. Let's pop this in. And 6:30, all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, well, maybe I should get lunch. Oh, hell, it's dinner time. And I'm still in my boxers smelling like booze.
Well, did you... You've made it through all of 24, right? You've watched every season, right?
You know what? Every season but the very last.
Okay, so you haven't watched the one that just came out?
No. We started watching on demand because we're never home for whenever anything's live, and we watch the first 3 episodes, and then something happens and we forget it. So when it's all on Netflix, we'll just binge it.
Okay. Well, yeah, I didn't start watching until February. And for 24, I started the series in February because I thought, hey, I saw some commercial for 24 coming back, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to give this a try. I've heard some good things. And I thought it was coming back March 5th, not May 5th. So, like, I got all... So I was like, okay, I'm going to watch this all this month. 192 episodes later, I was done with it by the end of February. However, the whole thing with 24 is the thing I love about it is why a lot of people hate it, is how unrealistic it is. I don't think people understand that this isn't a show where you're supposed to really believe that this can happen. It's a show like, okay, the more ridiculous it gets, there's a couple seasons where it's like, okay, maybe that could happen, but the fact that they have to go 24 hours, like the best plot ends at hour 18, and then they're like, oh shit, we still have 6 more hours to go, so we have to come up with a secondary plot to make it through these last 6 episodes, which is why I love the show.
Right, and I give it credit, because, I mean, there's a certain amount of suspension of reality that goes in with any show, and they did it for 6 or 7 seasons. But you ever think, like, what would your state of mind be if, like, 7 times you had one day to save the entire world?
And keep in mind, Jack Bauer's done it, 9 times now?
Yeah.
In 9 24-hour days, he's been able to save the world.
I'm thinking I'd be in, like, deep depression. Like, deep depression. Like, I have the worst luck ever. All I did was go to this hotel, and there turns out to be Al-Qaeda in the next room taking over the world.
And how would you feel if you were, like, Jack Bauer's daughter? By the way, who was the worst character on the show, who just ruined everything.
She was in
every season she was in. It's like, okay, she gets kidnapped in the first... Oh, spoiler alert for people who haven't watched the show, but she goes out with with her friend and those 2 guys, and they want to go have sex in that furniture store, and then all of a sudden those guys are terrorists. And it's like, yeah, okay, I'm sure 2 teenage kids are helping terrorists in this plot to assassinate the president. Yeah, that's something I can really buy into.
Hey, you know what? There's nothing that says it can't happen.
That's true.
So just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't.
One thing I missed about season 1 that they didn't do in any other season, which I thought they should have done, which would have made it even better, is that whole thing in season 1 where every episode you'd be like, my wife and daughter are kidnapped, and I'm trying to find them. Yeah. And this is the longest day of my life. I wish they would have done that before every single episode in every other season. Like, it just completely gets so much more ridiculous that he's saying it over and over again.
I'm like trying to think in my head what the production meeting was like before they like went in for like the 6th episode or the 7th episode, whatever episode they dropped that in. Be like, guys, this whole thing, this is the longest day of my... It's got to go. It's annoying.
Yeah. And sorry, we can't do this anymore.
There's some guy there's some writer in the corner that was his idea, and he's like, well, I really think it sets the tone for the whole episode. I don't really think we should lose it. And like the whole room shouts him down, like, it's stupid, it's annoying, get the hell out of here. And they send him out for lunch and change the whole damn show while he's gone.
Yeah, and I like how Jack puts his arm up against that pillar. He's loading his gun and all that stuff. And he's really stressed out that he's lost his wife and his daughter. Well, in the first season, it's like, Jack goes from CTU, the head of CTU, to, they try to force him out. Then he gets his job back in 24 hours. he goes, that's the most unreal. Don't worry about the plot to assassinate President Palmer. Let's worry more about Jack's job position in CTU in the first season. Let's put the pieces together on that in a 24-hour span, how that would work out.
And it's annoying as well, because how many times does he have to be right about something until you just believe him?
Right. It's like, how many times has he saved this world, and then all of a sudden there's some badass from, like Ryan Chappelle or something in season 2 or 3 from, God, what is it? What do they call it? District?
Yeah, yeah. I know what you mean, though. Yeah, I can't think of it either, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, their corporate office or whatever.
Yeah,
it's
like some corporate douche that wants him arrested.
Yeah, it's like, okay, what, well, and then in season 5 when they're like, there's a terrorist, President Palmer was shot. Who's our first suspect? And like, Jack Bauer. It's like, what? Jack Bauer's, it's been proven that Jack Bauer saved President Palmer's life like 5 times.
And he turned himself into a heroin addict for this country. You know what I mean? Not for nothing. The guy's been through hell.
I was having this conversation with co-host Matt Shepard the other day. Who is your least favorite president? And obviously the most unrealistic president is Wayne Palmer, because there's no way that you go from chief of staff for your brother, and he wouldn't have been chief of staff either, not a chance, to president of the United States. Not even close. Not a chance that he's president. But worst president, who do you think was the worst president in the series of 24?
I'm trying to think who they all were, because like you had Dennis Haysbert as the first one, and he set the bar pretty high.
Yeah.
I thought so. I'm Googling presidents of 24 right now.
And then you had Keeler, who took the information from Palmer's wife to blackmail him into, not running for a third term or second term or whatever. So Keeler was president, and then Air Force One goes down in season 4. And then, what's his name? Lloyd, not the guy that looks like Droopy the dog, takes over.
Droopy the dog.
Yeah, who's the Logan.
Oh,
he looks like Droopy, the cartoon dog.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking at pictures of him now. That's fun. He was the guy that had the wife that was nuts, right? He kept put her in the asylum or whatever, or
Yeah, he tried to silence her by putting her away to Vermont, and then she wound up, being correct, and Logan's an a-hole and whatnot. They went the full 9 yards with that one.
I think the worst one, the most annoying one, was probably and everyone's gonna think I'm sexist, but President Taylor for the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, Madam President.
It just annoyed me. I don't know why. I can't really put my finger on it because I haven't seen it the last season that I watched with her in it. But I just remember saying to myself, I think it's maybe because she looks a little bit like Hillary Clinton.
Yeah,
and it just ticks me off. But that's my own personal politics. That's my own personal issue.
Well, it's interesting with her. Yeah, she had such a strong stance on everything, and then she starts to fold in season 8. Like, I guess it showed that she was corrupted by power. With the whole thing in season 8 where somebody assassinates, I don't know, Iran, some Middle Eastern country. By the way, that's one thing I like on 24 is they don't want to cause any trouble in the Middle East with their plots, so they don't name a country that whoever the terrorist is from, they don't name it.
They steal it from Austin Powers and call it Kriplakistan.
Yeah, and they're fine with naming off Russia and China as being enemies. And I don't understand why they're comfortable with that, but not naming off Uzbekistan or something like that.
I think that my main problem with President Wayne Palmer is that he looks too much like Gary Payton.
Oh, I was going to say DMX.
You're right.
President X.
You're right.
Yeah, that was a problem. 24, great show. It's the second show, but Star Trek actually did it first. They predicted a black president before a woman president.
Yeah.
Basically, with Deep Space Nine and then Voyager, and then 24 did it too. And then in real life, you have the black president before you have a woman president. Who knows if we're going to have a woman president, but...
Well, it wasn't like... Did you watch any of Orange is the New Black on Netflix?
I watched the first 3 episodes of season 1.